Okay, cool. So today we have let's start that again. Today our guest is Martin Davis, funny man, who's played at Let's Bonce Comedy for us a few times already and is going to be with us on the 4th of September. Welcome, Martin.
Hello, loves. You all right?
Yeah, all good, all good. Martin, you're going to just sit and have a chat here and literally get to find out a little bit more about you.
Okay.
So I'm going to start firing off a few questions at you. How did you get into comedy?
I wanted to be an actor. The short version of the story is, back in the day, you needed to have an equity card to be an actor. It was like a union card, and you could do it. But it was kind of tough because you couldn't get a job until you had a card, but you couldn't have a card until you got a job. And one of the ways of doing it was through variety. So if you did stand-up comedy, if you had something like 12 gigs after you'd already done and 12 gigs to go in 3 months' time, or even less than that, I think, you could get an equity card. So I started doing it just to get my equity, because I'd been to drama school.
Okay.
And then I started doing comedy, and then I really fell in love with it. It wasn't something I ever thought I'd wanted to. I was doing it for something. I was doing it to get an equity card.
So you sort of came into comedy by accident?
Yeah, because it was a way of doing it. You could do stage managing, you could do other different ways of getting in, and it was one of the ways. And a lot of drama students would do it because you could do it as a double act, and both of you could get your card. So I think it might have actually been like 6 paid gigs in the next 3 months.
Oh.
And a lot of the time, clubs were run by people that people would sign your thing even if you didn't do gigs. Because they just, there you go, yeah, right,
just get on with it.
Yeah, so that was why I started doing it, and then once I started doing it, I really, because I've been in enough profit share rubbish plays and stuff where you're very beholden to other people, and this was the first time I was in charge of myself.
So did you study drama?
Yeah, I've been to drama school, yeah.
Okay, so you'd studied drama school and you'd done all the...
Oh, yes.
And what did your lecturers think of...
If you want a bit of Shakespeare, love, I can do your Shakespeare. I can do Shakespeare at a drop of a hat.
What did your lecturers think of stand-up?
That they were fine because it was a way of getting your card. They were like, yeah, a lot of drama students used to do it because it's not the equity thing. Thatcher kind of broke the unions, so it's not as important as it was. It's still a good union to be a member of, because if you get into any legal disputes and non-payments and stuff, they have really good entertainment lawyers who can really help you.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So they're still a good union to be part of, but you don't need it to work in the way that you used to.
Was there not a sort of bit of snobbery between sort of drama and stand-up? Was there not, with your lecturers and stuff?
Yes, because most of the drama students were terrible because they had no feel for it, and they just remembered that they could write a 10-minute bit and remember it because it was like lines to them. They could remember it, but they had no love of it. I remember once I started doing it, I was comparing a show, and this double act came out, and they did a mime thing for 10 minutes, nothing. And I came back on, and I went to the audience. You were really in tune with that act because they made no noise, and neither did you.
Oh, that's excellent.
And I was really good. And then I just went to the audience. Drama students? Do you think drama students? Because they were just so bad because they had no feel, because it wasn't what they wanted to do, but they were doing it just to get their cards.
Yeah, I think Dalen Oliver said that he started out in drama.
Yeah.
And his lecturers and everything were when he said he was going to get into stand-up, they were really disappointed. And, you're throwing your life away going into stand-up.
It's all part of performing. Yeah. Like you get someone like Rob Van Vuren, great stand-up, really good actor. It's all part of. It's another string to your bow.
So you've done some TV as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It depends where. I did one in Belgium, where I was told they were very. This is so weird. You did 2 20-minute sets that they would cut down to 15, and then they would sort of then they would thingy them up, and they'd go out in different shows. It was called Comedy Casino. And I went on, and my mate said to me, "You're going to do it, and you're going to think you're dying on your arse, but you're not, because for Belgium you're storming it." And I went, okay. So I went out, and I'm doing my stuff, and it's going all right, and I'm thinking this is all right. And then I knew I had to do 15 to 20, and I looked up, and I'm thinking I've been on here longer. And I said, look, I know you can cut this out. And I said to the guy at the back, "How long have I been on?" 25 minutes. Okay. Well, why didn't you give me the light? We were laughing too much.
and you hadn't noticed it.
I went, okay. So I went off, and I've come off, and I'm just thinking that was dreadful. That was dreadful. And the director came up to me and went, Martin, brilliant. Brilliant. And I went, yeah. I said, yeah, it was brilliant to watch. Yeah, like a car crash. And I went to walk away, and he's grabbed me by my elbows and literally looked at me in the face and went, brilliant. And I'm going, you're fucking mad, mate. You're bonkers. The second bit, the compere went up, and he's talking in Belgium, and he's you may have seen him before, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the UK. And because I'd already done the second one, they went mental.
Wow.
It was like the weirdest gig. I think it took them the first bit. I think they were stunned by me. They were literally like, who is this ball of energy? And then they realised I wasn't actually going to jump off stage and get them. Second bit, they went, okay, we're not Belgium anymore, and we're just going to laugh out loud. Yeah, so very weird. So yeah. But that was fun.
But your style is, sorry, I've just got to move your mic quickly. Your style of comedy is incredibly, I mean, I remember the first time I saw you at Bounce, I thought, good God, I mean, your energy just fills the room.
I like to think, even if you don't like me, you won't forget me.
For sure, yeah.
That's why, and I don't mind people, it really is, I don't mind you not liking me, but I like to think that people would go, do you know that Martin Davis? And they'll, if they've seen me once, they will remember me.
Yeah, even if they didn't like you, yeah.
I don't mind, because that's a choice. You're allowed to not like me, but you're not going to go, Martin Davis, who? That guy?
Yeah, who's
no.
he? Yeah.
And even after you can go, who? No.
Quiet guy, reserved.
No, but you're going to know who I am. Yeah. And I think that's the toughest thing as a stand-up, is to have your way of... And I don't think I've never seen anyone do what I do the way I do it. I'm not like anyone else. I do my own thing, and I think I'm proud of that.
But then, how do you prepare? I mean, you've obviously got to psych yourself up to. I mean, like you see the sort of the rugby guys before they run on the field all psych themselves up.
I'm always excited.
Do that sort of mental psyching up, or
no? From about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going, come on, let's do this, because I always remember starting off. I remember all the gigs I've had to do when you've been booed off stage and you've died on your ass.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to do it. So every time you get up, you go, this is brilliant. You have to reinvent it for yourself. Every time you do it, you reinvent it. So you get up and you do it again. And every time you do it, this is brilliant. This is such a good job.
So the natural thing that comes from that is everyone goes, well, you know, the thoughts that come into people's mind is that guy's on something.
Red Bull.
Have you ever taken anything for? Have you ever been shit faced at a gig or?
No.
Really?
No.
Because I was watching a Jim Davis.
It's different people can do it.
And he was drinking on stage, and
some people can. Yeah. It's not me. I go to work. I like to think I go to work. And why would I drink and stuff before I go to work? And I like to think if I'm not drinking because I'm going to be quicker witted than you, because I'm not drinking, you're drinking, so you're going to think you're funny, but you ain't as funny as me, because I'm working, my friend. I'm here to work. Wow. So it's just a thing. Not really. I'll have a red. If I'm comparing, I'll have a beer when I put the last act on.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll have Red Bull. I might have a couple of Red Bulls up to then, and then when I put the last act on, I'll have a beer, because in my head I've kind of finished now. I can't really mess up now. Yeah. It's the last act.
But the assumption must be, because you're very rock and roll, sort people of looking think, that people must think you like, yeah.
No. Oh no, I'm not saying I haven't done stuff in my time, but not for or not at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's look. I kind of agree with you. I mean, I do a lot of video and photography work, and the minute you sort of start doing anything like that, I did a mate's wedding once, and at one stage he came up to me and he said to me, "Right, boy, it's time for you to have some tequilas." And I was like, "You do realise?"
Yeah.
You know, the minute I do that, I'm not taking photos anymore. And he was like, "No, it's fine. Yeah. You're my buddy. I want you to enjoy it." So we had some tequilas, and then I got the camera.
And was it all?
Oh, it was awful. It was absolutely dire.
Artistic photos.
Oh yeah, it was just horrendous. Okay, so let's get into some meaty stuff. What's the worst gig you've ever done?
Well, it depends what you mean by worst. All right, the biggest death, as in numbers, was to 3,000 people at a gig in Rotterdam, I think, and there was a music tent next door, and I couldn't even hear myself talk.
Okay.
And I'm dying. And the Dutch are so lovely. They don't say get off. This bloke in the crowd, please will you go?
So they weren't throwing stuff at you and yelling.
No, they're just sweet. Please will you go? And I said to the crowd, I said, look, I know what you're saying, but I'm contractually obliged to be here for a certain amount of time. And the guy who's compere, he may have gone to the toilet, so I can't come off straight away. So I've got to be here for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So that was probably.
How do you deal with that afterwards? How do you lift yourself?
Right, no, I've got a story. That it was great. So I've had a terrible gig. So I'm like, I'm a bit, I'm a bit depressed about it. We drive back to Amsterdam. In my head, I've got in my head that Holland is flat. Something in my head's told me it's flat. So we stop at a petrol station and we want to go to the toilet. The guy in the thingy can't find the key to the toilets. That's all right. So me and my mate go to these railings, and he's peeing through the railings, and there's these bushes there. So I went to climb through to jump down just in the bushes, and my mate looked at me and he said, "Where are you going?" And I went, "I'm just a." These bushes were the top of a tree.
Good Lord.
And if I'd jumped down into the bushes, fallen. I would have been dead. And would have been, Martin's bad gig, he killed himself.
Your head was just...
So I just looked down and went, wow. Okay, so had a wee, got back in the thing. I went out for a drink afterwards. The boys went back to the hotel, and I'm sitting in a bar, and this girl comes up to me and she goes, "Excuse me?" I said, "Yes, madam. Can I say that you have a very unusual face?" "Yeah, all right, love, yes." "Could I buy you a drink?" "Yeah, all right." We had a great night. I'm still friends with her. She was a pole dancer by night.
Nice.
And a rape advisory councillor by day.
That's a bit heavy, sure.
And nothing happened, but we just had. She had a scooter. She drove me around town on the back of her scooter. We went to other places. She came and stayed with me at the hotel. We got up and had breakfast in the morning, and then she left, and we're still friends to this day. So it was an interesting day.
So it actually turned out all right.
It was love. Yeah. In the end, you just go, I know it, right? So and at the gig, I was so like, that was rubbish. I said to the guy who I'd worked with before, I said, keep your money. I was rubbish. Keep your money. So okay. So I go down for breakfast. I see the boys. All right, so I sit down there. I go to the buffet. Go to the buffet to get something to eat. Come back. There's an envelope where I'm sitting with my money, because the guy who'd run the gig had given it to the boys and said, "Give it to him in the morning."
Oh, that's kind.
Right. And when I sent him an email, and I was like, and he said, "Martin, how many gigs have you done for me? How many gigs have you done for me? And you had one gig that was bad." Happens, love.
Yeah.
Everybody dies. Everybody.
When was the last time you died?
Here. When was the last time I died here? The last one I had that was really bad was possibly last year at Goliath, so on my birthday.
Oh no!
And I'm emceeing, and there's nothing quite like emceeing, and the crowd don't like you because you have to keep getting up.
Yeah, and you're the one supposed to be lifting the energy,
and it was
for
over
the comics as they're coming on.
And it was over 3 nights, and then my birthday was on the Thursday, really bad. So then they transferred me, and I always tip my hat to the guys for this. They swapped me from comparing, but to close the show.
Okay.
So I closed on the Friday, ripped the arse out of it, because there's nothing quite. If you have a bad gig or one you're not really that happy with, the next night you're
on point. Yeah.
I'm gonna, and I absolutely
killed it.
Tore the roof off the place.
So do you suffer from depression, depression when it happens?
But I've been doing it long enough that you go. Nowadays, I don't get carried away with good ones, so I don't get down with ones that haven't gone as well.
Okay, so you don't go on this emotional sort of roller coaster.
Because you have to put everything in its place. So you go, if you get carried away with the good ones, and you think you're a comedy god, then you have to take it really hard if it doesn't go as well.
Yeah.
So if you keep it all in a nice, you go, that was really but you come off, and I think I've kind of known for this. I can come off. I can have stormed the gig, and I'll come off, and I'll just be at the bar, all right. And people go, "No, you were brilliant." Okay, cheers. Okay, because it's not brain surgery. I'm doing what I do. There you go. But do you know what I mean?
Have a bit of perspective.
I don't get. You know, when you're younger, you do possibly when you're starting out. But once you've done it enough, you just go, I'm doing what I should do. So why should I get carried away with doing really well? That's what I'm supposed to do.
It's an interesting perspective.
Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever been physically assaulted?
Yeah.
What happened?
Doing a gig, guy run at me and rugby tackled me on stage, and then they took him off, and then my mate was comparing stop the show, and then they had an interval, and I always remember I was having a drink and the bouncer come up to me and said, do you want to come with me? I said, okay. So I went outside and they had this kid outside, and it was a freshers ball at the thingy, and he's going, the bouncer was saying to me, do you want to hit him? And
I was like, I can get a free shot.
And I went, no. And then the kid went, there's nothing you can do anyway. And I went, excuse me? He said, there's nothing you can do. I said, so you're new at this college, right? You've just rugby tackled me on stage. You could have injured me. I get injured, I don't work, I sue the university. You're new here. They're going to love you when they're sued by me.
Yeah.
So tell me again of all the things I cannot do.
What caused it?
He was just drunk, bless him. And then my mate went back on and said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the show again. Would you like to welcome back? The whole place just up and cheering. And I went, oh, yeah. And there was a bouncer sitting at the front, and I'm going, you're a bit fucking late now, love. should have been there 20 minutes ago, but they were lovely. So
it wasn't anything specific that you'd said. He was just drunk. Just being an idiot.
I had a bottle thrown at me at Carnival by some people. Oh, it happens every now and then. It happens every now and then. I've had some big Afrikaner boys at the Cape Town club outside. The guy saying to me, come here, I want to talk to you. I went, no. He goes, come here. I went, no. And he went, why? I says, because you're going to headbutt me. I said, I know how this works.
Yeah.
I've been doing it in there, and verbally I'm clever than you. And you don't like that, and you're a big boy, and the only way you know how to win arguments is physically.
Yeah.
So I'm coming nowhere near you, my friend. No. You want to talk to me? You talk to me from over there. I ain't coming nowhere near you. And then I hid behind Bruno, and they said to me,
Bruno's a big guy, though. You don't want to mess with Bruno.
And then the guy was shouting at me, going, "What? Are you going to hide behind the bouncer?" Yes.
Exactly.
That's his job.
Yeah.
His job is to stop trouble. Your trouble. So every now and then it'll happen, but it's an occupational hazard. I never hold back on anything I'm going to say. Just, you know, I've been threatened from the audience, and they think you're going to back down, and you go, come on in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to a comedy club, my whole thing with it is, surely you know by going there that you're gonna get that, and I think it's just people don't really
have too much to drink or whatever, and sometimes it can hurt their pride that you're cleverer than them, like verbally. And and especially big guys don't like that. They don't like being verbally being made fun of, because they can just keep shouting stuff back, and you've got something all the time, and then the crowd are laughing at them. They're laughing at them. And they don't like it.
Now they're in the spotlight and they're being humiliated.
And they just think by shouting out crap that it's going to put you off your game. And you go, I've been doing this forever. Love.
And you've got the mic and you're louder than them.
No, but it's my job. This is what I do.
Yeah.
For you, it's a night out. I always say to people like that, for you, it's a night out. For me, it's a way of life, love. Do you know what I mean? You want to do this? Okay.
That's good. Okay, where did you grow up, Martin?
London.
In London, inner city?
Finsbury Park.
Finsbury, wow, okay.
The Arsenal.
Okay,
originally.
Well.
Yeah, and then for some reason my mother moved over to South London.
I actually lived in a camper van in Finsbury Park.
Finsbury Park, lovely. God's own country.
And I had no money. I'd been kicked out of a bedsit. It was when I was first in the UK, and I was living in this camper van, and I was using the Finsbury Park underground toilets, which but they're just like metal, horrible things.
Yeah.
That was literally my ablution block.
Yeah, you were living the dream.
Yeah, and it's an interesting place, Finsbury Park, because it's apparently where 3 councils meet. So it's Hackney and Haringey and I can't remember all of them, but they're all
Camden.
Yeah, Camden and Highbury, I think, all meet in the one place, and nobody wants to take responsibility.
Yeah.
So it's just a melting pot.
Yeah,
there was this Irish pub that it was a lawn to itself.
Yeah.
It stayed open whenever it wanted to.
Well, yeah. What would it? The Lord Roby. Was that the pub?
I think it could be, yeah.
Could be Lord Rope. Yeah. That was a famous Irish pub in Finsbury Park. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you had the Rainbow down the road, which used to, I don't know when you were there. Was it a music venue then, or?
Yes, it was a music venue. Yeah,
but it's a big church thing now. But that was a fantastic venue. And then you got the Arsenal up the road. Oh yeah. Great place.
So I take it you're an Arsenal fan.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sitting on the other side of the fence there. I'm a Tottenham fan.
If he told me this, I wouldn't be here.
Yay!
I wouldn't. This is
it's a coup. But we're not going to talk football. Okay, what was it like growing up there, though?
Great. Oh, it's like I think people.
Were you a latchkey kid? Were you sort of doing your own sort of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I think you look back on it, and I think if you look back on it, you think we were poor, we were this, but you don't think of it. I don't think kids think they're poor. I think parents think they're poor. I don't think kids really think they're.
Yeah, kids don't care, do they?
They just get on with what, and all your mates. I remember once going to I had a middle class friend, and I went to his house, and I always remember this, walking in and seeing a tennis racket and a guitar leaning against the wall, and going, "What a bleeding hell!" Because
what's that?
a tennis racket. What's that then? It just seemed like wow! Someone's got a tennis racket just lying there, and a guitar just leaning against them, because we didn't have stuff, but we were great.
Where did you go on holidays?
Camp. We used to go. My uncle had a caravan, so we got Margate, with the family and stuff. Yeah.
Caravan
but a lot of the time I was, because my mum was a single parent, so then she fostered me out for a while because she was a bus conductress and she felt she couldn't look after me. So then I lived with other people, other families. For a while.
That must have been pretty rough.
Same thing. You don't think anything of it at the time. No, you really don't. And I know it's.
And you still had contact with Mum while
I used to see her.
Yeah.
But it was really funny. She came to pick me up from school once, and apparently she was late, and she saw me walking down the street, and I thought she wasn't coming, so I'm walking down the street, and I'm all kind of quiet. And she went to the school, and she said, "I saw him the other day, and I saw he was really quiet." And the teacher said to her, "Oh no, he is." She went, "What?" She goes, "Oh no, he's a very quiet boy. He's very shy, very quiet." She was like, "No." And because that wasn't the person that she knew, and she decided then that she had to get me back, because the way I wasn't being good for me. So okay. I know people always find it hard to believe that when I was a kid I was really quiet and shy. But once my mum got me back, and one of the things she did to bring me out of myself was I was interested in football, music, and clothes. So when I was a kid, there was one day she went to a shop. Ben Sherman were the shirts at the time.
Yeah, they're still quite popular now in the UK,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So she went to the shop and she said to the guy, "Can I see your Ben Shermans?" So he got all these Ben Shermans out in my size, and she just went, "Okay, love, thank you." And he went, "No, what one do you want, madam?"
Yeah.
"No, I'll have them all, love."
Wow.
So I was having suits made in Carnaby Street when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
And my name was Smart.
Sure.
I wasn't Martin. To all my mates, I was called
Yeah, I can
Smart.
see the way you obviously take care with your appearance.
And it's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah. So it's like, it's something, and that's what brought me out of myself.
Okay.
That clothes have always been.
So clothes kind of give you a confidence.
Yeah. Clothes have always been a thing for me, and that's what my mum gave me, because she could see I was interested. And once you start, like when I was at school, I had 3 blazers. Right? I had one that was in the cleaners, one that was in the cupboard, and one I was wearing. I was immaculate. I was, and I'd have a Crombie.
Yeah.
You know Crombies?
Yeah.
I'd have a Crombie. I'd have the thing. Oh, yeah.
Were you the class clown?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
So you literally, that is one of the things that ticks a box with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's the classic cliche, but if people are laughing at you, they're not going to hit you.
Okay.
So
classic defense mechanism.
Classic. Absolutely. Yeah. All the big boys liked you because you'd make them laugh. So there you go.
Excellent. Yeah.
And it's just a thing. Yeah. You like you like being liked by people. Yeah.
Do you find there's pressure on you when you're not doing stand-up to be funny?
No.
From friends and family and stuff like that?
I've had it both ways. I've had people meet me who've seen me do stand-up and then are surprised how kind of quiet and thinking I can be off stage, and then I've had it the other way when people know me and then come and see a show. I was going to have a girl once and her family knew me and everything, and they come and her sister said, I knew it was you, but I kept saying, is that mine? I could see it was you, but it wasn't you. There was this other bloke on stage and I'd known you for a long time. So I can be in company and be funny, but I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy on stage, and I don't want to be, and I don't try and be life and soul. I'm just me. I just like to be me and be relaxed.
I think it must be a bit exhausting to try and
I wouldn't want to be him. I wouldn't want to be, I always called him him, but I wouldn't want to be that guy off stage all the time.
So it's in kind of a way an alter ego.
Yeah, but it's another part. It's just another part that you do. But I wouldn't want to be that guy and always being that guy. I'm not interested. I'm not really not interested. That's why people find it funny when they talk to me off stage after a gig, because I go back to being me and just being me, and they expect you to be that guy, and you're going, well, that was the thing I was doing up there. I was working. I don't need to do that now.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so what else have we got? Oh, yes. Did you know you have a twin brother?
Who's my twin brother?
I'm going to bring him up on screen, and Nathan, you're going to put it up on the screen for our viewers there. Here's your twin
Roderick David. Roderick David, yes.
Oh, Rod Stewart, there we go.
Well, listen, if any
separated at birth, mate.
If any of us are still looking as good as he is at his age, when my daughter was very small, she was about 4 or 5, we were in Harrods, and we kept walking into it, and we kept laughing, and at the end of the shopping trip, I put my daughter up on the cashier's desk like that, and he was at another desk down there, and my daughter's looking at him and looking at me, and she said, Daddy, I said, yes darling, that man's got hair just like you. And I said, no darling, Daddy's got hair just like that man.
Oh, that's very gracious of you, mate.
And Rod heard and he laughed, and then we walked into each other again, and I said, Rod, one of us is going to have to leave, and it's going to be me.
Oh, fantastic. What did he say?
And he laughed. I've met him a few times. He's such a nice...
But, I mean, you even got the same mole, except it just shifted on you.
No, he's a top...
On you, it went up there.
Right, here's a story. When I was a kid, me and my mates went to see him in concert in Hamburg.
Right.
My couple of mates, they got really drunk and lost and threw them... Literally were throwing their money around in a windy night. So they're throwing them... Right, so we have no money. So we've got nowhere to stay. So we go to the hotel... And we're chatting with him in the bar, and he said, where are you boys staying? And we pointed out over, and he looked at it, he said, where? I said, see that sofa over there? And he went, yeah. Well, we pulled that out at night and we sleep behind there. No one's caught us yet. So he laughed at us and he went, okay. Didn't say anything. About 10 minutes later, guy comes up and he had a word with someone. I always remember that he said something to someone. Someone comes up and then someone gave him something, and he just gave us free cards to some, and he got us rooms.
Oh, fantastic!
For the next couple of days in the hotel.
What a
He's a top boy. He really is.
What a
he really is.
It was the first thing when I saw you at
He's
at
an absolute.
Bounce, the
but
first
he is.
night.
He's an absolute gent. He loves what he does.
Yeah.
He's No, so people fine. He's a great, one of the best soul pop singers Britain's ever produced.
I've seen him live in concert, and it was about 10 years ago, and I was amazed that
he's brilliant.
The energy that he still has is just unbelievable.
He loves it. He loves it. Absolutely loves it. And he's so funny. I saw him on an interview, and it was him and his missus, and he was going, and they were saying to him, you're getting back into, songwriting. He says, yeah. And then the wife went, he gets up some nights, to write. And he goes, no, love, I don't get up in the night to do that, sweetheart. And gave her a little smile, like,
hey.
He's a top boy. He's a top boy.
It's brilliant. Okay, what do you think of the state of South African comedy at the moment?
It's amazing. Considering, like I said, for the amount of clubs you have and the size of the country, the quality that this country produces is brilliant. I think it needs to change. Acts need to start being braver and not just pushing the buttons that they know that work, that play to their crowd. Like there's there's some comedians from Cape Town who are scared of going to play in Joburg
or Durban
or whatever because there's not enough of their audience, and you have to, and you feel like saying to them, be a comedian that you can go and play anywhere. And the best comedians can. Trevor Noah's gone to America. Mark Lottering goes to New Zealand and England all the time. So break out. Just stop pressing the buttons that work for you in your little community and be something in that community. I think they need to. Personally, you know what I mean?
Do you know Trevor?
Yeah. And
his rise to fame, could you see it coming?
No, be honest with you. But I used to do gigs with him where he'd be and it's not sour grapes. He'd be storming gigs.
Yeah.
But I'd stand to the side going, okay, you're good, but you're not anything special to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But he does what he does. So I'm not taking it. But it's not my thing. But he's very good at. He's made that show his own. It was a very brave thing to do, to take over from Jon Stewart, that show, and he's made it his own. He doesn't do it in the same way because you can't because Jon Stewart was so brilliant at doing what he did.
Yeah, I guess with a show like that, you've got to kind of get in there and just put your name all over it.
And I've been surprised that he's been as good at interviewing people, because the scripted stuff is what it is, but he's good at the interviewing, and he's an intelligent boy, and he's got good questions, and he can push questions well, which I was surprised. But he's got better at it. And he's made that show his own. It's not a copy of Jon Stewart anymore.
What about the accusations of gag stealing?
Oh, he did. There's just no. He just absolutely did, and he would. I used to call him a polisher. He would take a joke, and he'd polish it and make it better.
Because it's just happened again. Russell Peters has just said there's a Russian gag that he said he's
No, but listen, I know when he was doing gigs, he was doing like big gigs, and there was an act who said, "No, I'm going on before him." Oh no, but Trevor needs to do. I don't care. He's doing my stuff at the moment, so I'm going on before him.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, and they go, well, you can't. He goes, well, I'm not doing the gig then, because he's doing bits of mine at the moment.
Yeah.
So yes, he has, and I'm sorry, and for all his success, and God bless you for doing it, love. But he did. So he did. You can't say he didn't, because he did.
Have you ever?
What, stolen gags?
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah. No, not intentionally. Sometimes the comedy police get a bit they go over the top. If someone has a joke that's like another joke, they go, well, yeah, but anyone, I put it this way, I remember watching Friends once, and there was a joke on it that I'd never done that one of the characters said. And I remember laughing to myself going, I don't think they've stolen that from me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So to me, it's jokes are one thing, but it's when it's whole bits.
Mm.
When it's a whole bit, where if it's someone can come up with the same joke, wordplay and whatever, and I think people get carried away, but it's when it's a whole bit and you go, really? So if someone did a joke that was like mine, I'd go, yeah, okay, because we can all come to the same conclusion. But then if it went out and it was all the same, I'd go, nah.
Actually, there's an issue here.
Nah. But if it's just a joke that's the same wordplay or whatever.
So has anyone ever stolen your material?
Only once. I remember an open spot dying on their arse, and they started doing a couple of my jokes, and this girl I was with said, he's doing your material. And I said, yeah, but if you were doing as bad as him, you do someone else's stuff as well, love. I said, I don't mind. I did once. No, there was a guy doing a gig in Durban, and we're sitting in the Opera House, and we're sitting in the sound booth, and he's on stage, and there's all the acts, and we're watching the show. So the sound booth's at the back. We're watching the show, and he started up, and it wasn't a joke. It was a chunk of something.
Yeah.
And all the other acts looked at me.
Oh, knowing exactly what was coming.
And I went, God, I'm doing well tonight. I'm here and I'm there. So I said to the guy after the gig, you're doing my joke. He says, no, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. You know you are. He says, no. I said, all right. Tell you what we do tomorrow. You're going on before me. You do that joke. I'll do it after you, but I'll do it better than you. Right? It's going to.
That's a challenge. Yeah.
It's going to confuse the audience, but I'll do it better than you. Right? I did it better than him. On the night after that, he didn't do it again. So you go, really, love? You're on before me, and you drop your joke.
I think the other thing as well is with the writing process or with the creative process, there's a definite point where you know how you got to that gag. So you'll be in the shower thinking of something and you'll go, oh, that's really funny. So you can actually
trace it back.
You can trace it back.
Yeah.
And if someone can't trace it, then so
I'm
what was your?
I'm not saying I'm Paul McCartney, but Paul McCartney had that with Yesterday. That he kept saying to the Beatles, "Do you know this tune?" Because he said it came too easy to him. He said, "Is this a tune?" That
really? Hey? Yeah. So he actually thought that he'd heard it or picked it up from somewhere.
Because he just went. It just came, and there was no working through the notes or anything. He just
amazing.
went. It came fully formed. The tune came fully formed, and he said, "Is this based?" And all of them went, "No."
So have you ever had that where you've written something and you thought,
yes,
maybe I've picked this up from somewhere?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't trace back to what made me think. Thing. It was just a fully formed joke, and I was going, "What? Have I heard that somewhere? Have I?" And I kept saying to friends, "Have I heard it?" No. Oh, okay.
Did you use it?
No, I don't think I did in the end.
Because something was bugging you about
something
it.
Something was bugging me, but I remember thinking it didn't. I couldn't remember the. Like silly. I remember listening. I was sitting in my kitchen in London once, and they were doing a thing for Help a London, and what was it? It was like something, help a London, and just in my head I went, it said, help a London child, and in my head I said, kill a social worker. But just in my head. Yeah. So anytime I did something like that, I could remember sitting, listening to the radio, help a London child, kill a social worker. Just in my head. So I had a through...
You got that frame of reference that you can always go back to.
Whereas that one joke I was going, no, I can't. It was something about guinea pigs, that it's their own fault because they call themselves guinea pigs. If they called themselves something else, they wouldn't be picked on. Because, they bring it on themselves. Something really silly. But I couldn't think, what was I watching something about guinea pigs? No, it was just there. And I was going, nah, it just didn't ring right in my head. So that's why I never did it, because I always felt, there's something.
Oh yeah, we touched on this a little bit on the car journey over here, but our viewers weren't there. So, corporate gigs.
Aha.
How do you handle those boys?
I'm not your most obvious corporate act.
Yeah.
I always think there's acts who can be really good club acts, and then there's corporate acts, and there's acts who, if you put me in a club with them, I'll wipe the floor with them. But you give me a corporate gig and they'll probably do better than me, because they can just get, head down and just
storm through it.
Silence, bits of laugh, getting a bit more laughs. Well, it doesn't work. So I tend to do corporate gigs when there's someone who's particularly asked for me. Whereas if it's a corporate gig, they're booking a comedian, and then I turn up, I think I'm a bit too much for them. Whereas if there's someone who likes me and they want me to do it, at least I can go, yeah, but he's the guy booking, he likes me, so you got an in. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, and corporate gigs they're normally not well run. The lights aren't good. It's not in a club. The amount of things
which is quite weird, because the paycheck's bigger.
But that's why.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be horrible. Yeah. No, majority of the time corporate gigs are horrible because they're not well lit, they're not well mic'd, it's only you. The pressure on it, like I've done corporate gigs where it's like a show where you might have someone comparing a couple
like
of
a gala dinner and stuff like
and
that.
That's nice.
That's more stage like, isn't it?
And it's nice because it's like, it's not all on one guy. So it's less money, but it's a lot less pressure as well. Because you just, we'll give you a show. But when it's just you,
And in terms of limiting your material,
because you're playing, you're playing to people who haven't decided to be there. They're there because it's a company do. And there's all different things going on. So I am not your obvious corporate-y person at all. I'm too out there, which I go, fine, I do what I do. I can't.
So you prefer like coming down to us at Bonce for a night, and playing the room there.
Yeah, corporate gigs. But then I've done I remember doing a corporate gig with John Vlismus, and we were there, and everyone was there, and they'd had their meal, and they were supposed to start at 8, and it was 7:45, and the woman said to me, "Should we go now? Because everyone's here." And I went, oh, I like you. Oh, you're good. Because not that thing, it has to be at 8 o'clock. It's like, no, everyone's here. Everyone's had their main meals. Everyone's cool. Should we do it now? I went, oh, I like you. And it was a really nice run corporate gig. They had screens at the back so everyone in this big room could see.
Yeah, because a lot of the time it's actually getting the attention of the guys.
It was done properly. It was really well.
Yeah, they want to be talking business, and you're trying to talk.
But it was beautifully set up.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But other ones, you go, you walk in and you go, have you got a light? No.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Do you know what I mean? A stage, anything.
Yeah. Nothing.
They won't have any, and you just go, okay. And then they try and tell you, well, you'll be all right. And I remember one I did, which I've only ever turned down 3 gigs in all the time I've been doing this. And one of them was on do you know this? It's called The Ship. It's down on the embankment.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, a mate of mine used to run a gig there.
Yeah.
So when this guy said, you want to come do a corporate for us on the ship, I remember thinking, oh, great, yeah, it's at the thingy, yeah, it'd be great. So I turned up, no tables and chairs.
Oh,
right?
No.
And literally a stage, from the floor from there. So I just went, it's not going to work, love. I said, well, where are the tables and chairs? Oh, they're in the other room. Well, why are they out there? Oh, because there's going to be dancing here afterwards. I said, well, can't we have this? No. And I said to him, no, but this isn't going to work. Because look, see this? I can't talk to the person behind you. I can only talk to you. This isn't going to work. Oh, yes, it will be. And I remember saying to him, fella, you're willing to offer me quite a decent amount of money, so you must think I know what I'm doing. But when I ask you what I want,
then you try and tell me that's not going to work.
You tell me that I don't know what I don't need. So I just went, nah. And then I said to him, I'm not going to do it. He goes, well, I need to speak to your manager. I said, okay. So I gave him my phoned my manager. And she said, okay, can you just give the phone back to Martin? And he went, is it unplayable? Yes, love. Oh, all right, love. Because she said, if you say it's unplayable...
It's unplayable,
and I just went, no, it's unplayable. She went, okay, love. And it was 40 minutes, it was like 45 minutes, and I said to the guy, I can bash through 20 minutes and you'll pay me that money. 40 minutes is a long time to die on your arse.
Yeah.
I said, if you want to pay me that money to die on my arse for 20 minutes, fine. But I ain't dying on my arse for 40 minutes.
Gee.
But then I remember doing one in Copenhagen or Oslo or something. Walk into the bar, there's no seats, everyone's standing up, and I said and the comedian was the MC was on, first comedian was on, and I said to the MC, could you ask him to sit on the floor? I said, I can't do it. He went, okay. And he went, Martin Davis, sit down. Whole place on the floor. Different gig.
Fantastic.
Gig. It was lovely. It was lovely. And I did about 45, and in the end I only got off because I could see him sitting there going, God, my arse is dying. And I thought, I'll let him go there. But yeah, so
Okay, so MCing or stand-up, which do you prefer?
It's a different job. I like doing both. I do a lot of MCing because I'm good at it. And it's a different job. It's not the same as just splitting your act up. But I like doing both, to be honest. And sometimes, like the funny thing about that bad gig at Goliath's is now I don't MC there. I only do a set, and I actually like that because I can walk in. I have the only responsibility I have is to me. Okay. I have no responsibility to anyone else. It's just my 20 minutes. Whereas when I'm MCing, I take it serious, and I won't bring you on if there's a rowdy table. I'm gonna close down. I'm gonna shut down that table before I bring you on.
Okay.
Because I take what I'm not just going to do, and I've seen people do it, just do 10 minutes, there's a rowdy old table, nothing's been done.
Who do you think the best MC in South Africa is?
Me.
Okay.
There you go. No, because I'm good. I am really good at it.
Who else do you think is up there with you?
Who MCs? Levinson, if he's on his day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a maverick. He's Levinson, you know what I mean? I don't really see a lot of other MCs because I do it most of the time when I do gigs. Like when I do the Cape Town Club, I only ever MC.
Okay, and who do you watch in terms of comedy, like international? If you're going to watch some stand-up, sitting at home on the telly, you're going to put something on, who's it going to be?
Mickey Flanagan. Do you know Mickey Flanagan?
No.
A London boy. What's he called? Bethnal Green. And Mickey is exactly the way he is off stage to on. He's just he's just a funny fucker. He's just funny. Mickey is just funny, and he talks from his perspective or what he comes from, a working class, an intelligent working class boy.
And you kind of share that sort of London kind of background.
Yeah.
So
but he's just funny. The boy is just funny. You know what I mean? What was one of his things he was going? He was talking about when he goes, back in the day I was an international lover. And he's not a looker, and he'll laugh at the crowd. He goes, I remember having a girl back at the flat, and I came out in my kimono, because he had his kimono, and I gave her a bit of the dragon. And it's not jokes, it's his turn of phrase.
Descriptions.
He has a turn of phrase about him, which is just beautiful, and he's really, he's one of my favourites because he's so natural.
Is he a younger comedian or older?
No, he'll be in his early 40s now. Okay. And he's doing arenas and stuff.
So is he getting bigger?
Oh, he's huge. But he'll come out and he'll say to his crowd, I'd like to say I'm just like you. I like to say that money hasn't changed me. It's not true. It has changed me. I'm minted. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like you lot anymore at all.
Yeah.
I eat hummus now.
How do you handle the modern world in terms of social media and cell phones and all of that? Are you a tweeter? Are you a Facebooker?
I do it all, but I think I see through it as well.
Right.
It is important. You've got to be on it. You've got to have a presence. I get all that, but also it's like it's so if anyone says to you, I'm an influential blogger, you just go, oh Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm a food blogger or something. Are you really? So you go out and you have a meal and you write about it. Good for you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I know you have to be part of it, but I think I see through it as well. So
I think there can be a certain amount of, it's like the art world, there's a certain amount of sort of ego that's involved in it.
But it's a good promote. You got to do it. You got to promote yourself. You got to have a presence. You got to be out there. But there's YouTube video stars which don't mean anything to me. It's another world to me. But it's good in a way that there's a lot of in England and America and that there's a lot of young comedians or writers who'll come through YouTube, putting sketches up and stuff, because the gatekeepers aren't TV people anymore.
Yeah, we're talking about YouTube. I see that YouTube are now gonna stop the ability to skip the ads, and they're also going to. No, it's bad. And I mean, if you put anything relating to gun content now, I mean, you can be part of the gun lobby or against it or whatever. But if you do like a video on how to strip your Glock,
right.
You can't put it on YouTube.
Okay.
So already the censorship's kind of starting on it.
Yeah, alright. Yeah.
Probably just saying that, I might have to cut this out because I don't know.
He wasn't talking about guns for you.
I don't think YouTube is this going on YouTube, guys? Do you think they'll let it go?
We love you, YouTube.
We love you, YouTube. Just don't censor us too much.
Your Pornhub without the porn. No, that's what the guy said.
I love it.
No, the guy who made basically that was his like business model.
Yeah.
It was YouTube with porn.
Fantastic.
That was just his thing.
That's excellent. Okay, let me just see. I'm just going to check through all my list of questions here and make sure that we've done everything that I wanted to talk about. Chris, is there anything from you guys that you wanted to ask? Anything from the fans that you wanted to ask?
Why did we invite this man?
Yeah, why did we invite you?
Yeah, why? He's cheap and no one else was available.
That's the other thing I wanted. You don't drive.
No.
Why not?
Because in England we have a public transport system.
No, you're not in England anymore, mate.
No, I have night vision, which I realise I have now. I quite often sit in a car and I pretend I'm driving. Okay. And the amount of times at night time, I didn't see them. I didn't see that. And I'm like, I would kill people. No, seriously, I would kill people.
So, what do you think of our public transport system? Or lack thereof.
I once was in a taxi late at night going out of town, so there was only me and one other person in the taxi. The speed the guy was driving at, and I'm literally sitting in the back going, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And when I get to the pearly gates, God will ask me, why are you here? And because I was saving a few rand. What a stupid way to die. I was dying because I'm saving some money.
Saving a couple of bucks.
He was going so far, he literally because there was no traffic, and there was only a couple of us in, so just, you know, because they're bad enough drivers in dense traffic. If there's no traffic,
I know they just go. Well, if you get up early enough in the morning, you actually see them.
I wouldn't do that again.
Them coming out of Cape Town, because they do the morning runs, so they got to get sort of to Khayelitsha and back. And if you're privileged enough to be on the roads going into Cape Town at about 4 or 5 in the morning, you'll see them coming out, and the speed is
they're
just
bonkers. Yeah, no, they're
insane.
Absolutely bonkers. Yeah.
Solomon, we got a question from Nate. What's your question, Nate? Oh, have you had to pay more money to use a taxi because you're not one of the local looking types?
Back in the day, they tried. There was one time I was going from the waterfront to the armchair theatre, you know, in Obbs. Yeah. And we get there, and the guy quoted me a price, and I went, nah. And he went, yes, and I went, no, love. I said, babe, I live here. I know how much it is to get here. And he's going, no, that's the price. I went, no, I'll tell you what we do. We drive to the police station. You tell the policeman how much you think you're charging me. Yeah. Right? I said, I'm telling you how much I'm paying you. I ain't paying you that. And he said, what, are you telling me that I have a different meter for tour? No, are you trying to say? I said, no, I'm not trying to say. I'm saying. Yeah. I know how much it is.
Don't try your luck.
No. And I said, and look, I'm not running away. I'm quite happy to sit here, but I ain't paying you that. And so he was going, And in the end, we agreed on my price. And when I paid him the money, I said, and a little bit of advice, my love. If you ever see me again, drive past me.
Yeah, don't even bother.
Right, and back in the day, like before Uber, I'd get a girlfriend she'd phone for a cab. She'd get a price, and she'd get the name of the controller. Okay. So when I got to the other end, when they said another price, I'd go, no, Mary said it was so and so. What? Okay. Mary said it was so and so. Do you want a radio, Mary? Yeah. But now with Uber, you don't get the price is what it is, so it is what it is.
So do you use more Ubers now than you do like the Quellas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just safer.
Yeah. And when I'm in Joburg, there's always people who drive and stuff. So you know, it's not me.
Being in the taxi, have you ever had any close calls with being in taxis and the other traffic around you?
I had one once where it had a minor bump, and the driver got out and ran away. He must have been he must have been a Nigerian national.
Like, that's it, I'm done.
And
Peace
it was
out.
like, where's he going? And it was like, wow.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Wow. Okay.
So when the cops arrived, were you just sitting in the car?
All of us just sitting there going, with the driver, we had no idea, my love. It was only a minor bang. It wasn't a big, but obviously he went, oh no, I have no papers. Oh no, I'm out of here. And he literally I saw him get out, and I was like, and where's he going? And I saw him running down the highway. I was like, brilliant. Oh, okay, happy days.
Well, there's a lot of road rage that goes on around taxis, and I've actually had to adjust the way that I think about them, because
they are just, you just have to go, I'm stopping there, I'm pulling out there.
See, thing is that the business model itself for the driver's a mess, because he's got to get as many trips done as possible, and he's got his kids to feed, so you kind of got to have, if you put yourself in their shoes, you got to understand it a bit.
And also the customers. I remember once there was a white Cape Townian who'd written a letter to the papers complaining about them. Yeah. He said like their road, the way they drive and everything, so that they got him a job for a morning driving the taxis. Yeah. His customers were screaming at him because he was too slow. Yeah. because he's driving within the law, and they're going, we're trying to get to work. What are you doing?
Yeah, the model itself just doesn't work.
They have to do what they do to make their money the way they do it.
Absolutely. So I kind of changed my view on it. I now see them as emergency vehicles.
Yeah, and also they're providing a service for people who can't afford anything else.
So if you see a taxi and you go, well, he's cut me off, and I'm going to get really angry, or you can go, it's an ambulance in your head. Yeah, just change it
every
into
time
an ambulance.
you see them, always expect them to do the worst. Always expect them just to stop.
Exactly.
Always expect them not to indicate.
Yeah.
Just expect them to be the worst drivers in the world.
And then you won't get upset.
Then you go, okay,
because you're not having a higher level of expectation.
But you should never be surprised when a taxi just stops, or when a taxi veers across you, because that that's what they. So as soon as you see one, you think there's one but sometimes they will just fool you where you're there and then suddenly zooms up.
Yeah, sometimes they catch you off guard and they scare you.
And you go, gee, really? Or they'll go in on on the hard shoulder and stuff and do stuff like that. You're like, it's like when we were driving in today. But the stuff you probably didn't even see him. Yeah. There was a guy lying on the hard shoulder.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw him. I was like, it's a homeless dude, just chilling. Yeah.
What are you doing?
But in South Africa, you just switch off to that sort of stuff. You see it all the time.
All you need is something to have happened there to the car in front, and that guy trying to get out of the way. He's going to what? I remember literally seeing it, and even now I go, what is he doing?
Why is he there?
Why is he lying on the hard shoulder, not even against the wall, quite near the traffic? Wow.
How long have you been in SA now, Martin?
I've been here about 16. No. I've been coming here for about 18. I've probably been here for about 13 years now.
But you still gig in the UK and the States.
Yeah. I used to do 6 months.
So you were like Swallow.
But then it's you're not really ever living.
Yeah, well, it's the end of the summer, though, isn't it?
Either one. Financially, it made more sense because it was good for going back home because you get loads of work because you're not there for most of the year, so you can cram all your good gigs into that 6 months and work really hard. I'd stay with my mum, so I'm not paying any money, really. So,
Are you a bit tight-fisted there?
No, I'm careful. No, I've always been careful. I've always been careful with money. Oh, no, you shouldn't throw it around.
Yeah.
But then
do you think you'd be like that even if you were like minted, like to quote your?
Yeah. Because money should be. No, it's to go back to the Rod Stewart thing.
Yeah.
He goes when he gets on the plane with his kids, he goes to first class and they go economy. And he says because they have to learn.
That's classic.
Because they haven't. He goes, I'm paying.
Yeah.
When they're paying, if they want to go first class,
fair enough. Yeah.
Happy days.
When you've made it, you
happy
can jump.
Days. Good for you, kid. But you ain't paying for this, so you can sit back there. I've earned this. I'm going to sit. I'm going to get the thingy. So it makes you learn. Makes you learn the power of you've earned your money.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Chris, is there anything else that you want to ask? No, we're done. We're gonna call that a wrap. Thank you
I hope I was
so
all
much.
right, viewer.
You were brilliant, fantastic. Right, hold on, Chris. Before we do that, just one more thing I want to do. Okay, so you guys have been listening to Martin Davis, who will be playing at Bonce on the 4th of September. Come along to Bonce and watch Martin. He's going to be our MC. And to you, Martin, just a quick
I love
shout
it there.
out.
I love playing in there because even when I'm on stage, I can stare out at Arsenal posters.
It's one of the hardest things about me running that club.
Well, after what you told me, I'm quite surprised. I don't think I could do that.
It is a tough one.
My daughter's mum. The first thing when we met, I said to her, I went, do you like football?
Yeah.
And she went, yeah. Who's your favourite player then? Oh, Tony Adams. And I went, I like it.
Okay.
Because if she said Steve Perryman or something, I would have gone, no, I can't do this, love.
I can't.
I fancy it, but I can't do this.
Yeah, no, it's quite territorial there.
I remember staying at a mate's house. He was doing a gig, and it was up in Manchester, and he came and he brought in a cup of tea in a Man United mug.
And you wouldn't drink it?
And I looked at him, I said, I can't drink that. He says, and he laughed at first, and he went,
yeah.
And he said, I put it in another cup. I said, no, because that tea's been in that cup.
Yeah.
I said, make me another cup in another cup.
Non-Man United
I said,
tea.
I can't. And he was looking at me and he went, no, Martin. I said, if you were staying at my house and I bought you an Arsenal mug, could you drink it? He went, no. So I said, so there you go.
Excellent. Okay, Martin, there's the camera. Give us a shout out what you're going to be doing next. And yeah,
when's this going out?
Hopefully within the next couple of days.
Well, this weekend I'm at the Cape Town Club. That's in town at the waterfront. And is it Tuesday?
Yep.
Tuesday I'll be at Bonce. Come along. It's a very good bill. Who is it? Me.
Kurt,
very good.
And
Regan Allen, who's a new act. He won the Savannah new comedians thing, and he did the comedy festival, and he's been doing really well. He's a nice kid. And Kurt Skunrad. So to come down, it'd be lovely to see you.
Fantastic. Martin Davis, thank you very much for being on our podcast.
Pleasure.
Awesome. Chris. That's a wrap. Thanks, buddy.